Hey, what's going on, gang? Gang? Jinkies! This week, two major announcements were made in regards to next-gen consoles, and we're going to go over it. Plus, something huge is happening with SEGA, and I think I might have an idea of what it could possibly be. So Microsoft keeps hitting it out of the park with these crazy announcements. Right now, they're talking this week about backwards compatibility. Backwards compatibility is a big deal this generation, I've noticed. Me personally, I know a want that everyone has is the PlayStation 5 to be fully backwards compatible. I would love to grab my copy of Legend of Dragoon and pop it in my discs, play it natively. It'd be cool if there's upscaling, but even at this point, just the ability to play it on my HD TV without having to hook up the FrameMeister and everything would be awesome. And, well, there's kind of been a little bit of silence on that. They're saying stuff like, PS4 games are going to be backwards compatible, maybe curated games. That being said, we actually don't really know. However, Xbox is making it clear right out the gate exactly what they're going to do. And this week's announcement was fantastic. They are saying that the Xbox, being backwards compatible, they've already said it's going to be backwards compatible, but they're saying that it's going to take your older games and make them even better. Now, we all know that with their Xbox Series X, they've been taking original Xbox games and up-resing them, which has been amazing. But now they're saying that some of these games are going to be able to support HDR, and then the big thing is they're going to be able to basically get the frames per second up on some of these older games. They're saying as high as 120. So if you have a high refresh TV or a high refresh monitor, you may be able to play older 30 FPS games at 120. Just imagine like a racing game, or my dream scenario is Jet Set Radio Future. Like Jet Set Radio Future at 120 frames per second, like HDR, popping colors. Holy crap. This one's got me really, really excited. But that's not the only thing. PlayStation 5, oh my gosh. I've been waiting. If you guys have been watching my news videos, I've been waiting for them to say something. June 4th, finally, I think it's 1 p.m. Pacific time, which would be 4 o'clock Eastern. They're going to do a big reveal. I'm hoping they show a bunch of gameplay. I'm hoping they show some games, maybe a cool third party announcement would be cool. Just one. You have to stick, if it's Sony, you really need to stick with your Sony titles, but who knows what's gonna happen. All I know is I'm hoping we're finally going to get to see some gameplay. We're finally going to get to see maybe the console. One thing I don't think that's going to happen, though, I do not think they're going to talk about price. Right now, Xbox and PlayStation, they're kind of playing chicken on who's going to spill the beans first, because I'm 99% sure one's going to try to undercut the other or potentially take a loss to get sales out. Xbox is like I said in the last part, continuously pushing hey, if you buy the new Xbox, you can play everything we've ever done. So, and who knows, this could be the time for Sony to make that same announcement. So I'm pumped. Definitely be looking forward to a video from me after that announcement so I can tell you guys what's going on. But what do you guys think? Are you guys psyched for the PlayStation announcement? I know I am, because I've been talking about it for so long, how it just feels like they haven't been doing anything. It looks like we're finally going to get our opportunity to see what Sony's been up to. Okay, this is the thing I really wanted to talk about all week. In fact, if it wasn't for those other two things that I just talked about being so big, I was literally going to make this video just this. And that is this thing with SEGA. So Famitsu, which is a Japanese magazine that covers all sorts of stuff, video games, anime, what have you. They have a scoop that's going to be on next week's issue talking about SEGA, where apparently they have some kind of bombshell to drop, some kind of huge announcement, and the words, I think specifically, were it's going to change the game kind of thing, it's going to shake up the industry. So when you think SEGA and shake up the industry, you think a couple things. Okay, first thing comes to mind, they're finally making the Dreamcast 2. That would shake up the industry. That's not gonna happen. There's no way. Another thing that could be likely is maybe a Dreamcast Mini. Now, the Sega Mini did pretty well. you would think, I would hope that logically they'd do a Sega Saturn Mini next, but the fact that the Dreamcast did so well, if this big announcement is a mini console, I think personally it'd be a Dreamcast Mini. And so that's two big options. The third option, which is probably very likely, is some sort of partnership, maybe exclusive titles for someone. But there's a rumor going around, and there is some merit to this. It's very, this is like a long shot. This is a long shot. But what if Microsoft comes out and Sega comes out and, hey, Microsoft says, hey, we bought Sega. Now, before you start saying that's crazy, what the hell are you even talking about, Wolf? You're a madman. Let me tell you, there's a few things that kind of could support this historically. I'm not saying anything recent, but just historically that could support this. A lot of people say, it's been quoted all over the place, that the original Xbox was the spiritual successor to the Dreamcast. That's all sorts of Dreamcast games and Dreamcast sequels were made for the Xbox pretty much exclusively, or at least at first exclusively. Now, the other thing that really jumps out at me here is, let's take Microsoft's history for the last few years. They have been buying up studios nonstop. They've been just going and grabbing and building their own studios, buying studios, really building their core market. And why are they doing this? Because they have the games as a service. They're killing it with the Xbox Ultimate and the Xbox Game Pass and soon to be xCloud. They're just crushing it right now. So, you take their very good relationship with Sega, and you take the fact they're buying all these companies. That still seems kind of weak though, right? Think about this. Now, it's well known that Microsoft's executives have been dedicating, they've even said this themselves last E3, dedicating themselves to go to Japan, and they're forming relationships. One big relationship we saw, and I swear to God I play this game every single day so I can attest to it, Phantasy Star Online 2, Xbox exclusive currently, and also exclusive, just released on PC with crossplay, of course, Microsoft PC. And so you have this huge partnership. So now you go over there, you see they're making these big connections, they're making these big plays. What if they bought Sega? And what would that mean? Now here's another thing that a lot of people aren't really talking about. When you think Sega, when I think Sega, you think these great third-party games, because they're a third-party company now. Let's face it, they don't make hardware anymore. But, when I'm playing these games, you're thinking, there's a lot of Sega games on Nintendo, right? So, why would Sega sell themselves to Xbox when, Nintendo literally probably sells the majority of Sega games right now? And that leads me to this thought, which is Microsoft and Nintendo have a great relationship right now. A lot of Xbox exclusive games have been making their way onto the Switch. We're talking Cuphead. It's when you get down to it, I think Microsoft's relationship with Nintendo is good enough to where they could have probably worked something out where it's like, hey Sega, we're gonna buy you because we want the rights to your games. We want to, you guys are good. You guys are a great company. And personally, I 100% agree. There's rarely a Sega game I don't like. So hey, we're gonna buy you, we're gonna fund you, we're not gonna close you down like some of these other jokers, and we're still gonna let you work with our partners at Nintendo. We're gonna work with our partners, with the PC, with Steam. I think this could be a big deal. Now, like I said, it is a little far-fetched, but there's a lot of pieces there. There's the previous relationships, the fact they have good relationships with other companies that use Sega, the fact that they're buying studios, and the fact that they obviously have this huge exclusive in Phantasy Star right now. I think these might be indicative of, and if not outright buying them, maybe at minimum like an exclusive partnership where it's like, hey, we're gonna have all of your stuff on Game Pass. And because of that, we have this big thing. We're going to give you some money to make some new games. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's kind of outlandish. A lot of people are probably going to say, there's nothing here. And there may not be. We're going to know next week. And once again, I'm definitely going to say something about that. But tell me what you guys think in the comments. I think this is kind of crazy. But you know, I want to believe, right? I want to believe that Sega can get funding from Microsoft, who has so much money they could really like get them to spread their wings and do whatever the heck they want. Anyway, that's going to do it for us today. It's been an awesome time. I've had a crazy week around here. I'm going to have some really cool videos coming up for you guys with some stuff that's been coming in. But, you know, I like to ask you guys a question every weekend. So I think this weekend I'm going to ask, you know, everyone's been kind of, you know, with the current situation, trapped, more or less. I want to know, what is something you personally miss? For me, going to the movies. My wife and I, we basically went to the movies every week, every weekend. It was kind of our thing. I miss that a lot. Definitely don't want to risk anyone's safety by like going now, or obviously, but that's something I miss. What do you guys miss? Tell me in the comments. And you know, I just want to know, like, how's everyone feeling right now? Hopefully good. Hey, that's going to do it for us today. If you guys like the video, please throw a like or a dislike. If you haven't subbed, please subscribe. I mean, heck, we've been jumping up in numbers, so awesome. Thank you guys so much. And, you know, leave a comment about anything we talked about today. And as always, take it easy.